that up. Alright, I think we're up. Hey everybody, welcome aboard. Captain Mike. We're going to give this another try. Oh wow, look, Jackson, you beat me in here. So did Fry. Yeah, you're not kidding. Both of you beat me in here. Anyway, we're going to give this another try. I ordered a couple of new USB powered hubs. They should be here within a few days. I don't know if that's part of the problem, but I think that at least part of it has to do with, I think one or two of these devices do not like being plugged into the hub. So when I moved stuff over and made a new server computer, I think I put the wrong ones in the hub. So I've been fooling around with that. I think I might have it right. Everything should be up with the exception of SayIntentions. That's the only thing that's not up. So I'm going to do a flight from Pensacola to Orlando, Spirit Airlines Flight 336. I don't have any information back there because I've been using my laptop or the tablet. So with that said, everything's cold and dark in here. I want to make sure that we're going to be finally good, hopefully. All the power buttons on the USB strips are showing that they're active now. A couple of them were out. So I think we might be good. Alright, let's get started. Alright, DC battery selected to bat. DC battery switches are guarded. Standby power is auto guarded. Alternate flaps are off guarded. Fuel pump switches are off. Wipers are set to park. Hydraulic pumps electric 2 and 1 are off. Landing gears down. We've got 3 green on the aft overhead. And weather radar to test. Master caution reset. And we're going to do a fault in-op test. And overheat fire. Okay, oh, looks like, is that because you're off? It looks like my TCAS isn't working here. Let me go check that TCAS.
United 1916, but you just vacated 36, descending via the Lucky, said maintain 240.
United 1916, center, descend via the Lucky 1 arrival, descend maintain 10,000, San Diego, altimeter 2995.
2995, descend via the Lucky, except maintain 10,000, United 1916.
JetBlue 89, contact approach 124.35. 124.35, JetBlue 89. JetBlue 19, contact approach 124.35. 24.35, JetBlue 19. Allegiant 93, contact center 126.77. 2677, Allegiant 903, good day. Dick.
Center Southwest 341, sending via the rollout 1, spin maintain 240, we're out of 30.2.
Southwest 341, center, send via.
And I'm not going to restart any of that stuff just for this. I'm not on SayIntentions anyway, but I got to take a look at that TCAS. All the hubs are lit up, so hopefully that's just a fluke that's going on there. Oh, hey Cam, how's it going? And Jackson, we're looking at hour 43 minutes. So I want to see if any of these USBs are going to have an issue on the way in. So, all right, test button is done. Master caution. Let's do fault in-op test and overheat fire. All right, ground power. Check it. That's working. And let's get on unconditioned air here. Alright, galley power's on. IRS select is emergency exit lights. Let's just cycle that trim air switch. Now let's enter our present position. Yeah, I think part of the problem might be this USB connector, because now that's out as well. And the only thing I did was I moved the monitor over down here. Oh, now it's back. Oh, ground power. I gotta wait for it. You have DC side, AC side. I was a little too quick there. All right. Don't invent any problems, man. This thing's got enough issues of its own right now. And where are we? We're at KPNS. It should be PMS. That's what this thing's been having the past couple of weeks. Well, since I moved over to the new server computer. But I think that's on me, not paying attention about the USB devices. Definitely going to have to write that down in the book, which ones need to be avoided. Out of the hub and plugged directly into the motherboard. So it's at least the MCP EFIS, which is surprising because that one doesn't mess up, but it does turn off, and it must screw up the other ones. So that's directly in the back of the computer. The flight illusion gauges doesn't seem to like to be in the hub either. They're in the back of the computer as well. So I'm hoping that's just a one-time fluke, and if it is, then we should be good, I hope. All right, the position is in. Let me get some brake pressure here. Flaps are up, and showing up on the aft overhead. We'll give them the position lights. Hopefully we're not going to come in. Oh, the brakes are already set. Did I back up here? Am I backing up? I might be backing up. All right, that takes care of that. Let's move on to the pre-flight. Yeah, I might have backed up a little bit here. All right, leading edge devices are good. If the phone is off, reverses are extinguished. EEC switches are unguarded. Crew oxygen is 14,000. Passenger oxygen is normal. Guarded. Flight recorder. Let's test that. Mach speed 1 and 2. That'd be too early for stall warning. We'll come back to that. 3 green on the landing gear. PSCU is out, and let's check our oxygen flow here. That's good, and lights test. Hopefully today is not going to be a belly landing. We got so much paint on the bottom of this aircraft, we're not going to take off soon with all the weight. I think that's 3 or 4 in a row where the gear didn't want to come down. So, all right, that's looking good. All right, flight controls A and B are on-guarded. Alternate flaps are off-guarded. Spoils A and B are on-guarded. Your damper is on. VHF nav normal. IRS normal. FMC is normal. Source selectors. Auto control panels normal. Temperature for the fuel is fine. Pumps are off and cross-feed check. AC/DC panels set. Galley power is on. Equipment supply and exhaust is normal. Emergency exit lights are on. No smoking seatbelt signs on. Let's get the window heat, run that overheat test, TAT test, wing and engine, any ice are off, and we can turn off the hydraulic pumps. We got plenty of pressure for the brakes now. 3 entranceways are open, test on the flight data recorder. Pressurization panels all zeroed out. Temperature back there is nice and comfortable for them, and let's reset the master caution. Overheat test. Wing body and master AC. Very good. That's all looking pretty good. And today's ride is 35,000. And that's looking good. Let's check the outflow valve. All right, that's looking good. And we'll use the left igniter for this ride. The lights are good. All right, ATIS clearance, and we're just going to run right into programming the flight management computer since I'm not using SayIntentions. So let's get this all set up so we can get out of here and see if the CDUs are going to, or the USBs are going to play along nice. All right, KMCO. And again, sorry I don't have any screens for you this go around. NKS. And 0336. I killed this battery, and then I used that in order to give you the 2D screen. So unfortunately, that battery is dead. Alright, what do we have here on the way out? 26, and we're direct coup. 26 on the way in. MCO, we've got Grinch from Defund. And we're going to use 17 left on the way in. And we'll just do the, alright, activate that. Let's have a peek at the ride. Alright, we're direct to CEW, CEW, okay. So, however you pronounce it, defund. Alright, left is Elite, Maya, Cokes, Gritting, Grinch, Bugs, Blake, Bunny, Yago. Alright, let's take a look at some charts here.
Good evening, Costa Rica 4290 at flight 265, KPNS 240 information.
We have KMCO and Grinch 5. Grinch 5. Yago, okay, Yago, and let's take a look at 17. Yeah, we can come in from Bosch. Actually, we don't have to go out that far. Let's come in from... Oops. Yeah, let's just have a peek at that real quick since I'm not using ATC this ride. Yeah, that works out just fine. Yago, Hervey, and then into Cedo. And we're on our way in, and then we have the mist. Alright, happy with that. Alright, let's get our fuel and passenger load and all that. Oh yeah, I have 3 USB powered hubs. I swapped out one of them for a spare I had here that has 7 on it. So, but they're about 8-9 years old, so I'm just gonna, I picked up 2 16 USB powered hubs, 96 watt. Each one of them have individual push button for power on, power off, so I can control it. And the funny thing is Windows 11 was turning these individual hub ports off on its own, being that even though Device Manager had all the checkbox turned off, telling it not to touch the power, and even in Windows 11 with hibernation, I had hibernation disabled for the USB, and it was still doing it, so go figure. Hey, Lassie, how's it going? Welcome back, my friend, welcome back. I'm just getting ready to program. I don't have anything in the back for you guys today, unfortunately. My battery here is dead today. Hopefully, we don't have any issues with the USB, and that's going to go away as a fluke, and we'll be good to go after this, and I can get you some screens in the back. Alright, that's all looking good. Let me get the weight here. That's all down. I need the electronic flight bag. Weight, fuel, and balance. This ride, what do we got? Fuel-wise, we've got 16.6. And the passenger load is going to be 37.3. Gives us a zero fuel weight of 132.3 should be, and 28.9 on the CG. 132, that's looking right on the money. Alright, put that in. What's our final reserve going to be this ride? 6.3. Cost index, I believe, is 18. And we're at 350, yes. Let's get our winds at top of climb. 261 at 60. And our OAT is going to be 4. Alright, that's in, and we're not going to derate. The CG I said was 28.9. This is a flaps 5 takeoff. Trim is 450. And we've got a down slope on this runway of 0.2. Alright, with a heading of 257. And the winds are 220 at 8.
Center November 5389 Romeo at 9,300.
Alright, that looks good. We got an engine out of a buck 49. Oh, get that in there, Johnny. Alright, descent forecast. We'll put in 20,000, 15,000, and 10,000. And let's see, top of descent, we're looking at 5 on the OAT, and on the way in we got 29.94. There's the ISA, that's done. Alright, let me have top of descent. 20,268 at 38. 15,256 at 22. And at 10,253 at 18. We'll go to legs, route, data, and let's request the cruise winds. We can put them in if we want manually, but I'm going to let Zibo do that. Let me have the progress page there as well. All right, the winds are in. Let's see, did I miss anything here? You're going to LA. Yeah, I was just in LA the other day. Pretty cool, Robert. Nice. I've got Windows updates turned off all the way around, Fry. You know, that weekly thing that you're supposed to wait, I got rid of that as well. I don't wait. These have been the same since I installed Windows 11, and I've had no problems with the 3 of them. The server computer, I waited a little while. It took updates, and I've been having nothing but problems with it. I should have did it right away when I did these, but I wasn't sure that was going to be the server, so I paid the price for being a little bit late on doing that. Oh, you like that camera angle? Yeah, I've been trying to figure out where I want to put it. I'm hoping that gives you the side view there as well as everything else. All right. All right, so that's all done. Let's get the pedestal set up. I'm going to need the load data sheet gone, and give me the charts. And back to Pensacola. And we're using on the way out. So let me have you. Now this I put in for me because I'm by myself. If I got to come back, if we whack some birds, or if we got an engine issue, something happens, Escobar's on board, we got to come back, you know. This is already done for me. Now let's cross-check that. Alright, and 121. That's in 169. Alright, and 111.1. Alright, that's all looking pretty good. Right, and I will take terrain, position, data, airport, and station. You can have the slave, I'm on the master. You can have weather, station, airport, data, and position. A little bit of weather out there. You can even take a look here. Look at that weather out there. That nasty. I tell you, I don't know if he wants his real name used, but anyway, the gentleman that's maintaining ZHSI is doing an amazing job on the weather display here. That looks great. Picatanga, that's his handle. I don't know if I'm sure everybody knows his real name anyway, but all right, that's all set up. That's set up. All right, we've got a heading of 0. We're going at 95, actually. No, we're going to 60, and we're going to head straight on up since we're not using SayIntentions this ride. And we're going to 350. And we got a match. That looks pretty good. And your EFIS is set up. I'm set up. My nose wheel steering is normal guarded. My clock is good. Let's check those displays. I want the engine data there. And let me have you there. Alright, and we'll check the lower displays now. And auto flight 1 and 2. Okay. Alright, the primary flight display, artificial horizon is level, ground speed 0, 45 on the speed tape, V1 is 137, 169 on the engine out, 60 on the heading. We've got a decision height of 200 if we got to come back. Ooh, our pressure, local pressure is 2991, off by 1. Cross-check that. Alright, that's all looking pretty good. And we're cleared all the way up. I've got terrain on the nav display. And you're going to be 91. Alright, N1 is auto. Speed reference is auto. Reset the fuel flow. Rejected takeoff is set. We are good here. That's all looking pretty good. Let's let that run amok. And put that back to 450. Alright, and let's check the bottles. We got a clean board, cargo test. Very good, let's get that test done. I can't do that test. Yeah, I gotta check TCAS. Okay, that's the only thing so far. Alright, you can come on, you can come on, you're on, and you're set. Okay, so I know that the nav is working. You can hear the Morse code in the background. I can check it what's on here. So it should be dot 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 dash dash dot dash dot 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 dot. That's it. Right on the money. Alright, we can turn that off. We don't need that. So I know this is all working. So the only thing is this. I hope that's just a fluke. If it is, so far we're still good. Alright, so that's all good. That's all good. That's all good. That's set. So we can't check that. Let's do the long test here on the ground proximity. That should work. And that test is done. And let's check the stall warning 1 and 2. That's good. Alright, let's get the doors buttoned up and get on out of here. Ground services, give me the doors. And no fuel in the center tank. Let's get the APU up and running. Alright, we're buttoned up there. We're just waiting on the APU. Oh, I didn't set up pushback. Let me go set up pushback. That I didn't do.
Alright, you've got it when you dropped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Wind shear, wind shear, wind shear. Too low, terrain. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Down to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Center Delta 2288 with 16-2 for 230.
Delta 2288, center, roger.
And 70 will be heading to the coastline and working off of Long Beach, and we were wondering if 14.5 or 15.5 would be better.
Aircraft 70, in relation to Oceanside, where will you be working?
We're going to head to Oceanside.
Alright, APU is up. Let's get on APU power, and we'll give that a minute before we switch over to APU bleed. Let's see, did I miss anything?
16,500 will be best and head over to 25.
Oh, hey, it's just pre. I see you snuck in here. How's it going?
0 copies, and we'll find the 16.5.
Yeah, you like that view, Robert? Cool.
Delta 2788.
Yeah, I'm using the wide-angle lens, so it really should get just about everything. You almost have the entire view out that right window, so. Not yet, Jim. Well, I'm hoping. This is going to be the test ride right now, Jim. It looks like a couple of my USBs do not like being plugged into the hub. I think that might be the issue. But the The hubs that I'm using are almost 10 years old, so I just purchased 2 new ones in the interim. But it looks like my MCP EFIS doesn't like to be plugged into the hub. Flight Illusion doesn't like to be plugged into the hub as well. So, and the pedestal might be a little picky as well. So, we'll see. Oh, you see, I don't know any of that stuff, Pre. You know, I'm not all that brilliant. I mean, when it comes to this, I know a lot of stuff in here, but when it comes to computer stuff, outside of, you know, building them and networking and stuff like that, that online stuff, I just kind of get lost. All right, so that's it. That's got to be about a minute. Let's get on APU bleed here. So let's get disconnected from the gate. We can get out of here. Ground services. We can get rid of the GPU, ASU, and pressure's good. Pressure's good. Brakes are on. We can get rid of the chocks. And let's get out of here. Let's go. I want to get this test done and see if this is a fix. I'm pretty sure this is it. Jim, when I went from using my center computer as the server, I had a few of these plugs plugged in directly into the motherboard. And what I did to do a test with the new server computer by itself, I just plugged them into a hub and then plugged the hub into that computer. So I think that's where I ran into an issue. Being lazy and not remembering stuff. But now I got to write this stuff down. Wrong airport there, Louis. I got to put that in the book. This way I know which has to be plugged directly into the back of the computer. I mean, until, who knows, maybe one day I'll be able to swap out these boards for Ethernet. But my hand's just not going to be able to do the work. All right, we are good here. We are good there. We're taxiing to 26, so a little bit of a taxi, but not too bad. All right, let's hope we have a nice clean run and we're not coming in on our belly. And so far it looks like TCAS, and I'm hoping that's a one-time fluke, or I got to take a look at that. I don't think it's a power issue because I checked the USB hubs and they're all lit up. Next to each one it has a number or a little dot, lets you know that they're powered up. And some of them weren't, but now they all are. So I'm hoping that's just a fluke. All right, we're good to go. So let's get the clock going. Let's release the brake and get on out of here. I'm not using SayIntentions this ride, so I'm just doing some tests. See if I found my USB issue. We've come in our belly at least the last 3 rides, so maintenance is getting a little ticked at me. All right, we're good to start. Let's get the packs off. Wow, it takes a while for that tug pressure to build up now. Way to go, Zibo. All right, that's good. Anti-collision lights coming on. We're going to start number 2. And I'm not going to hold that out. My shoulder's killing me. We've been getting a whole bunch of rain lately. And man, this shoulder just freaking bothers the heck out of me. And if all this does come together and works now and I have this USB figured out, next I'm going to have to move my OBS because what I'm using as a server computer for X-Plane now was my OBS software. So, alright, that's locked, stable, we're good there. Gen 2, you close your auto. Pressure is good, we're starting number 1. And we should be just about done here with the push. A little screwy there, lady. Didn't have your coffee this morning. Yeah, Jim, I'll tell you, documentation is definitely going to save you in the long run eventually. No doubt about it. Some grief and heartache. Hey, Rodney, how's it going, man? I'm using AEP, yeah, the airport enhancement from, was it Codex? Yeah, that I have installed. Looks like there's some building missing there on the edge. Are we stable here? Yeah, we're stable. We're locked in. Alright, we're good here, we're good here, here. Got a clean board. Alright, they're gone. Let me have taxi. Let me have you. You're going to TA. You're going to auto, even though that's not on. Let's check our flight controls. So far I've got one gauge I got to look at. TCAS. So, but the problem was usually on the back end where the USBs would just suddenly drop out. I'm hoping I got that settled here. All right, let's go.
November 20, Mike, going to maintain 1-2000, San Diego, altimeter 29999.
And the 1-12,000, 390, sir, Mike.
November 20,
And we've got runway 26, so we're going to take this down to, all right, Alpha 7, Bravo down to Bravo 6. Yeah, see, there's some building missing there. The gates to nowhere. To another dimension. That would have been an episode for the Twilight Zone, eh? Alright, A7 and we've got Bravo. We're making a left. So she looks nice and smooth from my end. Every now and then the OBS gives you guys some really big stutters. And I think that's because it's doing double duty between filming and running X-Plane. So definitely got to move that OBS camera out. Problem is I got to move the microphones and all the audio. That's the big problem. Moving the camera is no big deal. It's all the other stuff. Alright, we're cleared to cross. I don't put on the wing light because then you get the announcement ready for takeoff and we're not ready yet. But you would put that on as well. So these knuckleheads and Cessnas can see you. Alright. It's alright, I was one of those Cessna knuckleheads. I didn't encroach anybody though, but... I never got yelled at. Did have smoke in the flight deck once. That was, man, that was a long time ago. They had me in a Cessna, it was a 150 out in Islip, Long Island. I was still with my instructor. The instructor was in the right seat. And circuit breaker just popped, man. We're out flying around in the south practice area. Pop! I looked down, it's like, oh. So, push it back in, it popped again. Push it in, it popped again. So, the instructor leans over and he's pushing this button in. He's just shoving it in. Bypassing the freaking circuit breaker. I could smell smoke. I actually smacked his head. The guy looked at me, I was like, you don't smell that, man? I said, we need to go back. I said, don't push that in. You're going to cause a fire. You can smell it. What do you think the breaker's there for? Meanwhile, this guy's the instructor. We didn't call anything in. We just went right back to the airport, landed, and that was the end of it. He didn't say nothing to me. I didn't say nothing to him. I don't know what he reported when he went inside, but that was the end of it. And I was never with that instructor again. They gave me an old man that nobody liked. But he was good, man. He was fierce. He'd yell at you like you were his son. So, and that's exactly what I needed at times to keep me focused. But I'll never forget that day. That was a little freaky. I didn't see any smoke, but I smelled burning wires, man.
They canceled it and handed this off to you. We just want to make sure that it's okay with you as well.
That's the closest I've ever come to something weird going on in the plane. And that's all right by me. All right, let's get out of here. Let that go. Auto throttle it. Get my clock going, and we'll put you on TARA anyway, even though you're not up and running. All right, let's get on out of here. Let's see, we miss anything here? 10 notification complete. Exterior lights as needed. Engine start select is continuous. Auto throttle is on. Transponders TARA auto, even though it's out. And the parking brake release 40%. We're gone.
26.
Yeah, I think one more no landing gear. They're going to pull my ticket. All right, 40, and we are stable. Toga. All right, thrust set, airspeed active. Check, throttle hold, and we are stable through 80.
D1, rotate. Positive brake.
Gear up. Nice view. I fooled around with reshade a little bit more.
400.
All right, Zibo, let's see you handle this bad boy here.
1000.
And give me flaps 1. I want to enjoy the view. There's some boxes down there, though. Looks like there's quite a few boxes out in this area. And I'm using Auto Ortho and SimHaven along with Orbix, what's that, their Global Trees, Volume 2, whatever it's called. That's in the mix as well. The trees look nice. Flaps up. Yeah, a lot of boxes going on down there. So far, so good. From cold and dark, right on the money. I might cost this sometime in the future. It would be nice if 2024 actually went offline mode. I'm hoping that they take the hint and do that. If they do that, I'll purchase 2024 the day they do that. Give me an offline option. But 2020, there's just too many issues with trying to get all the hardware and everything working. Get everything set up, everything's working beautiful. The next day I turn it on, do nothing, and it's a flickering mess. Then I spend 2 days fixing it again. I get one ride in, beautiful, like butter. Next day I turn it on, I'm back in the same spot. So I was doing more tweaking than flying, so I figured, you know what, enough of that nonsense. Because I know it's definitely not going to get the attention that it needs with 2024 being out. So, and that's when I decided to come in here and put in Ortho and SimHaven and the trees. I figured I'd give it a shot. I got nothing to lose. I can always take it out. When I had the older machines running in here, it wasn't able to do it. It was a flickering mess, which is why I got rid of it. But now with the new computers, she seems to be able to handle this load. So it doesn't look that bad. It's not up to 2020, 2024 standards, but it brings X-Plane 12 up to a whole new level of realism. which is pretty cool. And when 12.2 comes out with the new clouds, that's really should take it over the top. Only issues that are really going to remain are going to be any of the auto tiles, you know, where the squares exist that you see. That's basically going to be it. So let's see if we're going to lose any USBs here. My last ride, we lost all my display screens. And I think that might be associated with that USB to VGA adapter that I just bought to try and get this one monitor going. Because when I updated the BIOS from Gigabyte, it turned off the display port, the HDMI, and the USB-C. It just didn't work anymore. So, and when I went back, I got them working, but they just weren't working right. So, had to try and find an alternate way to do it. I've now taken that out of the server computer and moved it into my glass screens computer, and it's running down here now. So it works. Now we'll see if these display screens are going to just turn themselves off for no reason. But so far so good. And I'll do a reboot and see if this comes back. If it does, I think that might have been a one-time fluke. We're well past 10. What are you doing here, Louis? Pay attention. Let them know they can go run around. We're climbing up beautifully. And the temperature back there is fine. So far, so good. It's going to be interesting because I'm going to get probably pretty rusty taxiing into the gate. I haven't done it in so long. Getting pretty good at putting her down on the belly, though. Wow, it's nice and clear out today. You can actually see all the way out to the water, man. Clear view of the airport down there. What airport is that? Mary Esther Hurlbert. I guess she must be someone important. This is a little longer ride than usual because of the storms that are out along the East Coast. So we're doing a little bit of a roundabout. We're still going to hit them. There's a whole line of storms heading across the east. So we're going to whack some of it. Turnaround. I might do a turnaround if I don't have any issues, but I want to go take a look at this TCAS first and get this whole thing back to the way it should be. So, local pressure. Let's go to standard and cross-check that. We're at 18 now. Let's run through the whole thing, shall we? Autopilot's engaged. And notification is complete. Cam pressurization and temperature. We're going to monitor that. Engine bleeds are on. Pack switches are set to auto. APU is off. Exterior lights as needed. We are good. Auto brake selector is off. Landing gear is up and off. And we are set for standard pressure. That looks pretty cool. You should have a nice view out that window, the way this camera is set up. It gets almost all of that window. That's a pretty nice view, though. So that's why I mean that X-Plane is taking a major update using Ortho and SimHaven, because it looks a hell of a lot better now. At least from altitude. I mean, if you're flying low and slow, yeah, I'm sure 2024 would be much better. But in an airliner, this is fine. The only two real big quirks I have with them are networking and their clouds and their gates, really. That's basically it. Really three. Well, the clouds are being worked on, networking is being worked on, so just a matter of time. We're going to 95 now. And at defun, we should have 13.6. We're 14.2. We're climbing up beautifully to 350. Pretty good ride so far. Yeah, I gotta remember. Maybe I'll mark the flight deck where I put this for this view. And it's actually further away out of my way. I can't even touch that camera from where I'm sitting. Oh, hey, Christian. How's it going? And Pythagoras. I didn't see you sneak in here. Yeah, I think you get a better view looking outside the window when we're at cruise, especially when we start rocking a little bit. You get a nicer view out that window. Me and my fat head and the iPad here blocks a lot of the view, so that's why that's probably the better view out the window. And we can let them run around. We're rocking a little bit, but it ain't that bad. That should be in view. And I will take the weather now. You can have the terrain. Oh, that's what was behind us before. We getting away from that? Are we rolling into something? Yeah, we're rolling into something. I'll tell you, pick a tanker, man. Woohoo, that looks great, man. What a view. Man, I tell you, he's relentless with the work that he does on his stuff. Outstanding, man. That looks great. Gonna have to go try and find bad weather now. All right, defund. That's the end. When do we get on the arrival chart? Let's have a look at that on the way in here. Orlando gonna come up and bite us pretty quick here, I'm sure. MCO. We've got what? On the way in, Grinch 5. Grinch 5, and we're coming in from, defund. We're on the chart already here in another 3 miles. What are we looking at? 58 miles top of climb, 345 to go. And about 50 minutes. We got about 50 minutes, we'll be in. Loving this ride, man. Now I just hope that these USBs comply for the way down. It's strange that the way they work until I get to cruise. On the back end, all of a sudden they just stop working. Really freaky. And it happened to the pedestal, it happened to the MIP, and it's happened to the forward overhead. So there's no way that I've got multiple controller boards going bad. That's just not possible. All right, defund. 13.6, 13.6 on the fuel, 10.4 when we get in. So we're looking pretty good. N1, N2, EGT, oil pressure, temperature, quantity, vibrations, all looking good. We are looking pretty good here, and the temperature back there is nice and comfortable. So Zibo just hit one right out of the ballpark, baby. Beautiful ride. France. Oh, how's it going? It's hard for me to see that name. What is that? Ibiano? Welcome, my friend. France. Wow, pretty cool. My first girlfriend was French. Man. Make sure my wife ain't here. Yeah, Costas, they're external powered. But they're about 9-10 years old, so they're getting a little tired. So one of them I replaced the other day. I put my little spare in that I had, a little 7-port, because the only thing working on that was just 1 port all of a sudden. It went from 10 down to 1. That thing just died. So, wow, look at these little anvil clouds coming up here, man. They're starting to bow out now. That looks pretty cool. We get those 12.2 clouds, and that's going to look real nice. And we got them on the map too, so that's pretty cool. All good. That's good to hear, my friend. That's good to hear. Yeah, Memphis, I'm enjoying this. I can't wait for 12.2 when we get those updated clouds. Add that into the mix for what I have on the ground now. Oh, man. And she's nice and smooth. That's the big thing. Is I thought I was going to induce a whole bunch of flickers adding all this stuff. But I was wrong. Pleasantly wrong. Oh, you can see the clouds. See where the clouds come out, come back in. You can see the sun sneaking in there. That looks great. You should be able to see that out the right side. Maybe not as good as I'm seeing it, though, but, man, nice. We're going to be getting into this. Let's just get them back in their seats here. This should get a little unstable in here. We should get rocked a little bit. Yeah, that looks cool. And this is live weather coming from the X-plane, so they're pretty much matching what we have in the real world here. There's a whole line of storms coming through. Looks pretty good. And we got a 61 knot tailwind helping us along too. Keep pushing, baby. Keep pushing. And I think I'm going to be having lasagna for dinner again tonight, man. My wife made a whole big pot of it.
1,000 to go.
That should be coming into range now, and 92. And she froze 2 big hunks. That's probably good for about 3 or 4 people in aluminum containers, and she left a little chunk on the side for lunch. So it's either that or Meatball Heroes. I'm not sure yet. I might have a Meatball Hero. We're getting rocked a little bit here. I think we'd be getting rocked a little bit more, but yeah, look at see what's coming up here? Look at that nastiness. There's a whole wall. Well, once we get past that, we should be all right. Burgers? We had burgers. Actually, we had burgers, I think, last weekend or the weekend before. On the grill. My wife ate burgers, dogs, steak, chicken. Rather nice little barbecue. Family enjoyed it, that's for sure. Alright, let's see if we get rocked a little more getting in here. You would think that we would. Oh, that whole section is not to scale, so we're not going to get on that moving map display until we're all the way down near Wovel. Wow. We'll be down by 9,000 feet by then before we get on that moving chart. Pretty cool. Ominous looking clouds, man. And you can see through them. Nice. Pretty cool. I think we'd be getting rocked a little bit more than this, though. Yeah, caramelized onions. Oh, yeah, man. 90-10? Ah, yeah. And of course, we had to have the Petalluga sauce. I put the Petalluga sauce on my burgers, and I put it on the steak. Matter of fact, we were talking about Peter Lucas not that long ago on one of my other flights. All right, we're going to break on through this one. And at least, indication time. What do you got now? All right, yeah, I'll get that. Wife's in with the meds. These are 375-inch Samsungs, Costas. And we've got, let's see, 140 miles top of descent, 274 to go. And we'll have 10-2 on the fuel when we get in, unless I can't put it down. Hopefully we're not going to put it down on her belly again. Well, they're getting a little tired. They're about 9-10 years old, so that's next on my list to get upgraded, these three monitors. I want to go to 386. I want to move the bezels out just a little bit further. And with the newer monitors, I want to see if I can get the thinnest bezel I can. But the main thing that I want to look for is that these have anti-glare. You know, that they have some type of matte finish. So that's going to be real important, look going forward. That's going to be more important than looking for G-Sync. Man, look at these clouds coming up, starting to anvil out. Man, that looks great. And Pickatanga, man, you did some job on the ZHSI screens, man. That looks great. Yeah, we're starting to whip a little bit here. All right. Yeah, there you go. Start rocking, baby. That's what we should be doing in this. I mean, we could have booked over to the right to avoid some of it, but looks pretty cool. And they match over the network, the clouds. So that makes it a huge plus. Really looking forward to 2.0's clouds now. Well, Costas, I did a lot of work to Windows 11 to get rid of those flickers and stutters. That's where a lot of them come from. When I first started, when I put in Windows 11 and I ran X-Plane, I looked, and I'm like, the CPU is being utilized to like 10%. And my memory was like 20-some-odd%. So there's like no way I should have been getting these flickers. Yeah, look, we're getting bounced nice. That's what we should be doing. Outstanding. So I started working on stuff. I started eliminating things. I cleaned out the hard drives. I did a disk clean. I cleaned out the caches. And then I went in and I started removing Windows services. And that was huge. Removing Windows services played a huge improvement in the overall flight deck. When, I don't know what the average is, but for my computers here, when I got done installing Windows 11 Pro, you know, if you do Control-Alt-Delete and you go to Task Manager, you can see how many user processes are running in the background as well as how many Windows processes. And before I started, I had 90 Windows processes running in the background from Windows. And the only thing I do is I just run this flight deck. That's it. That's all it does. I need to connect to the network and I need to connect to the internet. That's it. I don't need anything else. So by the time I got done removing all those services, I got the background services down to 60. And I've got my user background services, which was loaded with a lot of garbage that I wasn't even running, down from, I think it was 34 or 38, down to 19, 20, depending on which computer. So that played a tremendous role. That and DLSS4 if you're using MS 2020. That played a big role as well. So NVIDIA Inspector and getting that set up. So you do those few things. If your computer's just doing flight simulation with a 4090, you could be just as smooth. And I'm running reshade along with Ortho and SimHaven. And I've got Traffic Global set full blast. All the sliders that are in X-Plane are full right. The only thing that I'm not using is I don't have the check boxes on the right side checked for the boats and the 3D leaves and whatnot blowing in the wind and all that. I don't need that. I'm in an airliner. I'm not going to see any of that stuff, so I don't need it. Taking up resources. So, but other than that, everything else is up full. And I'm absolutely amazed at how smooth this is. And some of the flickers that you see are being introduced from OBS, from the computer, because I'm running the OBS and X-Plane on the same computer. And I noticed when I reviewed some of my other videos, some of the flickers and the big time stutters that you saw, I didn't see any of that stuff at all. I would have called it out immediately if that happened. Man, that looks great. They match beautifully. So that should be the worst of the line of the storms that were coming through, I believe. And that should basically put it behind us. So we should have a decent view the rest of the way in. That's all looking pretty good. I mean, there's a little bit out there, unless we get some thunderstorms that are going to build up now. It's 6:30, so could happen. Yeah, Windows security, Windows updates, I turned all that stuff off permanently. I got rid of the high definition audio. The high definition audio also caused a couple of issues. And I'm also, for those of you that are using SimHaven, I fly in an airliner all the time. If I'm not in this, I'm in the Cessna, I'm doing testing. So if you take a look at SimHaven, you know, there's like 1 through 8 or 2 through 8, or, you know, they're numbered. And numbers 3 and 4 I have disabled because they're all for small stuff like park benches, little tombstones, things like that. I'm not going to see that. I really don't care about that. So 3 and 4 on all of my SimHaven installs for the globe have been turned off. And that, believe it or not, has added a few frames into the mix, making it just that much smoother. So pretty cool. I haven't noticed any, Jim, and there were nothing that would pop up on the screen. But I'd have to go take a look. I haven't taken a look since I started having this USB error. But prior to that, I didn't have any. And I wasn't using that cause fix. You know, that SimHaven 3.0 for the United, well, I guess for the globe, really. They have the cause fix for the parking garages. I didn't put those in. So I may just go put them in anyway, just to put them in because they recommend it. But I didn't notice any errors as a result of that at all. Oh, you're on Wi-Fi, Jason? Yeah, I know that. Well, FP&L, Florida Power and Light, or Flicker Power and Light, the way we call them, we could lose power at any time. It could be a sunny day and power will go off for about 2-3 seconds and come back on. I swear, there must be a new guy going, what's this switch do? And then somebody yells at him, turn it back on! And then we get power again. And yet when we have bad storms, they're usually on, unless they're real bad. All right, so we're inbound what? Izzy, we should have 11.7 when we get there. Another 27 miles to go. We should have 11.7. We're at 12 right now on the fuel. N1, N2, fuel flow, oil, pressure, temperature, quantities, all looking good. We'll have 10.4 on the fuel when we get in. We've got another 68 miles top of descent with another 200 miles to go to Orlando. And so far, this has been a great ride. I haven't noticed any issues so far. Everything looks like it's still working on the back end. All my screens here. Oh, what did I just do? Oh, look what I just did. See that? Playing with my screens. Look what I just did. Now my screens are dead. You know what? It's got to be that USB. It's got to be coming from that USB. Let me go see if I can fix that. So if that's the USB doing it, then I got to figure out something for that lower monitor.
Nice, I tracked it down.
Number 8 and a pump, contact Procedural 126.7 at Flight Deck.
126.7, 8 pump.
Come back to the meeting. Last 232 euro descending to 14, yes?
This was from the last 236. Good afternoon, you have 2299, 1,000, or possibly in the future.
No, it's 2299, over to the port of Germany, Flight Center, on
2015 for the third.
last 232, approach 128.1, see you later. Southwest 2821, approach 2435.
2435.
This
1420,
Southwest 4220, Center Island.
November 4 Hotel Delta, confirmation code 370.
United 2299, contact center 2677, on you.
2677, Center, Clubber 6612, passing 10.7, deploy level 230.
Southwest 2700. Number 850, total altimeter 271, and I don't know how to run over that ridge line over there. How you doing?
So far, so good, no bump up. Probably going to hit the ridges here pretty soon. I'll let you know.
Southwest 4220, center 2677, 11 base running on the heading. Have a good
2677. So now we're in 1421.
Southwest 12, center 3677, so far.
12677, Southwest 6612.
Avianca 086, clear, descend and maintain, descend via the OL1, except maintain 14,000, altimeter 2997.
Then the OL1 arrival, 14,000,
Southwest 3237, center, descend via the Lucky 1, except maintain 12,000, altimeter 3997.
Descend via the Lucky 1 arrival, except maintain 12,000, Southwest 3237.
Citation 168 Tango Yankee, center, Eastern Diego, altimeter 2997. Avianca 086, contact approach 128.1 today.
Approach from 128.1 today, Avianca 086. American
2546, center, descend via the Lucky 1, except descend via the Ola 1, except maintain 14,000, altimeter 2997.
Descend via the Ola 1, maintain 14,000, 2997, and maintain 14,000.
American 2546, accommodate.
American 788, contact center 119.95, dinner. 119.95, Arabic, code 788, thank you.